Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another video. This gonna be story time, y'all. Stuff I've been keeping in the tuck, of course, day-to-day life here in the UAE. You experience many different things. So today I wanted to do a story time. And I was actually kind of shocked. I don't know why I was shocked. But when I came here, well, we were here for like over a year. Um, and I realized that, you know, men, what we call in America, well, in Philly, we say they crack on women or they try to talk to them. I was kind of taken aback when I saw that here. It was very, very strange. I don't know if I was living in a bubble or I was far removed from that, so it wasn't in my mind that that happens, or I just didn't connect it. I don't know, but that woke me up for sure. Um, Seeing it happen in real time here. You hear stories like in Egypt, of course, but then you just associate the Egyptians with just being sleazy. The men. You always hear stories in Egypt about the men harassing the women, touching them on buses and in taxis and all kind of crazy stuff. Or if they go into the local store, local shop, they touching them, crazy stuff. But I'm like, okay, that's Egypt. I just associated that behavior with Egypt. But people are people all over. So it kind of like threw me off when I saw that happen here. So me and the kids, we were at a global village. And this was like a year or so ago. Pastry shop. They love pastries over here. Pastries and gifts. You're going to see gift shops, chocolate shops everywhere with flowers. I've never seen so many gift shops in like within a mile's radius in my life. So it shows you the people they're very generous and they love to give gifts here, mashallah. I don't even think I saw that many gift shops in Saudi, did I? Or maybe I wasn't paying attention, I'm not sure. Someone who's in Saudi watching this, you can tell me, because I can't remember in Riyadh. Or like I said, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But anyways, back to the story. So me and the kids were at a global village, and of course I'm an adult. I'm not thinking like a teenager, but I did notice that the kids, or the young guys and the young girls, they get dressed up and they're like trying to look at each other, like in crowded places, and it's weird. I was like, I forgot what it's like to be a teenager. SubhanAllah. Because I noticed, of course I had my teenagers with me. So I noticed the girls looking at my son, of course, because he had this tall. So I'm like, I noticed it, but then I'm like, yeah, probably, I don't know. I just brushed it off. But then I started seeing certain types of dress. Like abaya is open in a certain way, or what's under it in a certain way. And I'm looking in the bathroom, how the girls are fixing themselves up. And I'm like, oh, let me go pay attention. Okay, I see what's going on here. Interesting. I was oblivious. I've been in my own world for so long. Absolutely oblivious. So after noticing that stuff inside of the global village, once we left and we're walking towards the car, we got to the car and then we saw a group of girls running. Like they were taking off, running. And I was like, what? They were like, yalla, 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 Banats, yalla. He's like, come on, get in the car. I'm like, what? What's going on? Why are they running like that? Not like a stampede. It was about 5 of them. And I was like, why are they running? So they ran to their car, hurry up, jumped in. They had like a Lexus, I want to say Land Cruiser or something. I don't know. but it was like a truck, Lexus truck. And they jumped in, and then I see the guys coming behind them. They were locals or Yemeni locals or whatever, because sometimes you can't tell the difference. But the girls were definitely locals, and the guys were dressed like locals. And they had the lehja of the locals, so they could be Yemeni, but they could have also been Emirati as well. But anyway, they chasing after these girls. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I was standing there looking like, what am I seeing right now? Ran right up on the truck and was like, what's up? Like, roll the window down. I'm trying to talk to you. I was like, what am I looking at? I'm like, this is crazy. I remember saying, I didn't know they did that over here. That's crazy. What? Chasing the girl, they're running and hopping in the car. She didn't like hurry up and pull off. She just got in the car, and he's at the window. He at the window like, what's up? I'm just trying to talk to you. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So that happened, and then of course, as time goes on, start noticing more. Even when I take my, we're interacting, the girls are going to the park. We were at this event, and me and Ziad walked off. The twins were standing and watching the Emiratis do their little local bop. I'm not sure, I don't know the name of it. I forgot the name of it. But the men, they were standing there doing their traditional, I call it the bop, because they're not dancing. People do say to dance, but they like moving back and forth with the little cane on their shoulder. I'm not sure the name of it. Or I forgot it, rather. But anyways, so the girls were standing there and watching that show, and me and Zia walked off to go see some of the sellers, like the vendors, see what they were selling. Once we came back, I noticed there were a group of teenage locals just standing there behind my girls. And I was like, okay. When me and Zia walked up, they dispersed. They like went somewhere else. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I see what's going on here. I'm like, interesting. And then I had a crazy experience. The one that I'm like, what? It blew my mind. It blew my mind. So this was in Ramadan, actually. This past Ramadan, the last Ramadan this year. And I'm walking, getting a shawarma or something. And this young guy pulled up on me. He had a local lehja. I don't know if he's local, but I don't really see I don't see other ethnicities doing that because they're free. And the way that I dress, they're not going to say anything to me. No one else says anything to me. So, again, I don't know if he's local, but he had the local dialect, and he was young. He was driving past, I'm walking down the street, driving past, he stops the car, pulls the window, stops the car in the middle of the street, pulls the window down because I was walking in the street with my bag, and he was like, he turned and he's like talking, but I'm in my own world, I'm not paying attention, so I'm looking over at the shops that I'm walking past because he's like coming towards me. The car is coming towards me, and I'm coming towards him as far as walking. So he's on the opposite side of the street. I'm on the side where some shops are, and then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he's talking to those. Okay. So then there were some guys, shopkeepers or whatever, like the juice shops. So I'm like, okay, yeah, he's probably yelling at them to ask them for something. So I'm paying no mind. I'm walking. The next thing I know, he comes around the block. He comes around the street. And he's passing me again. I'm like, and he's talking to me again. I'm like, what? So he keeps talking to me? So then, of course, I'm just like, okay. I'm walking, mind my business, because he just keeps driving. I'm not like going to say anything to him. I'm looking at him like he's crazy. So he rides around a third time. I'm like, what? So I'm hiking. I'm walking fast, cause I'm like, I know this man done lost his mind. Either you are, first of all, we're niqab. Second of all, it's Ramadan. What is wrong with you? I know. I'm like, either you're on, like you on some type of drugs, or I don't know what is the issue? Because this is insane. I would never in a million years have thought that someone would try to just talk to a niqabi in the street like that. Because I've never seen it. And when I talk to the sisters here, they were like, I've been here living here for years. I've never experienced that or even heard that. But, mashallah, I did come across one sister. I was telling her about it, and she said that somebody, it was a brother who, he was local as well. She was shopping in one of the markets, and where the locals frequent. So she, of course, she's ordering her stuff, conducting her transaction in English. So this brother follows her home. He followed her all the way home to where she lives, and he was waiting, like in front of her building, till she was taking out her bags. And he didn't pull off until he saw her husband come out. And that's when she realized that he had followed her, because she saw him trying to make eye contact with her outside the store. But she didn't know, she realized like, oh, he followed me home. So y'all gotta stay vigilant. Definitely gotta be on your P's and Q's. I didn't know that I needed to basically put on my armor like how I used to. You know how girls, you gotta, what we call them, curve. You gotta curve them in when you like out of hijab, when you're not covering, when you're not Muslim, or you don't cover properly, and men try to talk to you. I didn't even think that I would ever have to do that. So my mind, when you're in a Muslim country, yeah, the same thing applies. It doesn't even matter. It should be that they're respecting you and things like that. And I can't say necessarily that if someone tries to, no, that's disrespect. No. You don't talk to women in the street. That's not, if you talking about you want marriage, you don't stop nobody in the street. You don't want no marriage. Trying to talk to somebody's daughter or wife or sister or whatever in the street. No, absolutely not. So, yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be on point. Gotta pay attention, and act accordingly. But yeah, when that guy, I basically had to hide in a store because he came around the fourth time and was now yelling at me like, "What the hell?" I was like, "What? Are you crazy?" I ran in the store and hid in there. I was cracking up actually. I walked in there and was laughing like, I know I didn't just experience what I experienced. What the heck is going on here? He's like, answer me. I was like, what? Who are you? Man, that was wild. That was wild. I was like, should I be scared to go outside? I asked the sister, I was like, should I be scared to go outside? She was like, no, that's probably a one-off thing. Don't worry about that. I was like, I think you're right. But that was crazy. That was insane. But yeah, I got, you know, other isolated incidents as well that, that you experience. But you just, like I said, when you're in a Muslim country, your brain has to definitely think differently. Versus when you're in America, the non-Muslim men are put off. The reason why you wear hijab is because you don't want to be harassed. But the Muslim men know, well, they're covered, they're Muslim, So I'm gonna see what kind of they looking more at. I think you're like, I guess the way you walk, they hear how you speak. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know how they are able to pick out what they like based off a woman just being covered. Of course, if you don't wear niqab, that makes sense. Oh, she's pretty. I'm gonna try to talk to her, but yeah, it's different. It's very different. So you know, stay respectable, keep your guard up. But you know what? To be honest, the same thing happens like in a community. To be honest with you, it does. But I don't know why my mind compartmentalized an experience in a Muslim country. Like, no, they ain't supposed to do that. That's crazy. It's a society. But it's going to be even more so in a society if you experience in a community. We used to come outside the masjid of Germantown. We would have sisters on one side of the street and the brothers on the other side of the street, and all of them are looking to see who they can see. Who's married, who's not married. Who's that sister? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? So I guess I was just being naive, or I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. You're in a Muslim society, yeah. Have your guard up. And those of y'all who y'all had the curved men back in the day, you're gonna have to do it. Teach your daughters. Don't let nobody talk to them in the street because that's not good intentions. You know, just stopping you in the street asking you for your number. We've heard drama. We've heard drama outside of our apartment. You hear people, you hear locals arguing, like the girls yelling at the dude because he's riding up on them and he cursing them out. And he's like, "Yeah, tell that to your mother. That's for your mom. That's for your mother. That kalam is for your mother." I'm like, what? Yo, y'all wow. She's yelling. You know, respect you. You know, you respect yourself. I guess that's how you would translate it in English. They fighting. I'm like, this is crazy. What they loud as I don't know what. So that's I'm like, you know, the more you pay attention and you actually look when you're in a society, you pay attention and you notice certain things that other people might not necessarily notice. But yeah, y'all gotta tell your daughters. I teach my daughters to make sure don't look in men's cars, don't make eye contact, don't smile, because men take that wrong. Don't smile, don't laugh in their faces, because they're gonna take that as a go ahead. Like, nope, keep it nice and straight and basic, because they'll take that as an invitation to push up on you. Like, no, you know what I mean? So that's important. Those kind of conversations have to be had. They definitely have them with their girls here. Like, you know, of course you got some girls who are gullible or, you know, naive, or they just want some attention. So they'll talk to the guys. Oh yeah, in Saudi, this is what they used to do. So one of the sisters I talked to about that situation in Ramadan, she said, now that used to happen to her in Saudi. You know, and she was walking down the street with 2 kids. It used to happen. The Saudis would try to talk to her. I was like, I guess that makes sense. That's crazy, though. That's crazy. She was like, but no, that's never happened here. So, but in Saudi, before the women started to drive, right, and they had chauffeurs, the trick was how they used to exchange numbers or try to talk to each other. They would, at the light, they would be sitting at the red light. You got the girl's car with her driver. She's in the back seat, her windows down. And then the shabab, the guys, they'll ride up next to her car. They see it's a girl in it. If they think she's pretty, they got their number already written down on pieces of paper. That's how you know they crazy. Got the number written down on a piece of paper, ball it up, and throw it in her car, in her window. Basically, like, call me. So, it's people are funny, man. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the real world. What we know to be correct, what we should do, is one thing, But what happens is something else. People are people. You know what I mean? And that's their way of, I guess, trying to see if I can get a wife. Because the women aren't accessible. You can't talk to women in the street. That's another thing, too. SubhanAllah. You don't see, I guess they got to create ways to try to get the girl, because you can't just be in the street rapping to girls. You get in trouble. Same thing for Kuwait. They will call the police on you if they just see like a guy and a girl sitting in the car. Or it could be a husband and a wife just sitting and talking in the car. People will call the police on you because they're going to come check and see, like, is that your wife? What are y'all doing here? What's going on? So, yeah. And it's an Emirati, it was an Emirati security border gentleman who, security guard at the border. It was in the news. It was in the news here. He got suspended, basically, like off of duty, because I think he got arrested too. Well, he got charged. A fine, and he lost his job for, you know, I guess being too friendly with the women. And that was actually my first experience. SubhanAllah. One of my first experiences, and this when I was still married, I thought that was weird too. But he was older, so I wasn't really worried about it. But yeah, one of those guys asked me for my number. I was like, huh? What? And he was looking at my books. He was like, what are these books? Because they check your books at the border. What do you have? I think I had Kawad Muffala. Yeah, the explanation of Kawad Muffala. Sheikh Uthaymeen. Explanation of the most beautiful names and attributes of Allah. So I had that, and I was like, it's a book from Tawheed, Asma wa Sifat. And he was like, okay, mashallah. So he's looking through it, and then it was two officers. So one of them was like, yeah, give me your number. I was like, give me my number for what? No, I just want to give you salam. I said, you huh? I said, I'm right here. Give me salams right here. When you see me, when I come to the border, you give me salam. And then the other officer was like, yeah, but Dinas, he just want to call you. I was like, what? And you co-signing? Oh, hell no. Y'all crazy. Oh, my God. So, yeah, like I said, welcome to the real world. This is the kind of stuff you got to deal with. Allah Mustaan. Like I said, at that time I was married, so, but like I said, I didn't pay it no mind. I'm like, I'm in my own world. I'm like, what? Y'all, go ahead. All right, whatever, man. But, yeah, that's, it wasn't one story. It's a few stories I gave y'all, but just giving you an example of what goes on. And, can't be in a bubble and thinking that certain things are only for certain people or certain places, like me, thinking just Egypt. You hear horror stories in Egypt, you hear horror stories in Morocco, but you only think of it, pertaining to certain types of people. That only happens to certain types of individuals, or it's coming from certain types of individuals. But no, women aren't fit enough for the men. We living in the last days. People are, they cut up. You got people who are respectable and you got those who are not. That's always existed. So yeah, my message is stay vigilant, pay attention, stay respectable, and women, watch yourselves. And men, you should also, even if it's uncomfortable, tell your daughters with some of the tricks of men, so they can be safe from it, at least be aware, and not gullible and naive. As uncomfortable as that may be, you should. Because a lot of the times the sisters don't know, especially if they've never experienced it. They don't know. They don't know. They don't have that. How are they gonna want their daughters if they've never experienced that before, at all? So, all right, y'all. That's what I have to say. Thanks for tuning in as usual, and inshallah I will see you all in the next video. And don't forget, Hijra Man Day sacrifice. Ma salama.